I think the real issue here is not the fact that we did ransom, because I think people know that, and we do in a lot of disguised ways. And we did a prisoner exchange with Bergdahl, for example, which is worse than giving away money. It's that they lied, and they lie shamelessly, and they lie when the lie is uncovered.
Okay, the host of War Stories, that would be Marine Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North, is with us now. That was pretty blunt from Mr. Krauthammer. They lied, and that's the worst part of the whole thing. And Ollie North says what?
Well, they've been lying about lots of things. They're lying about this not being ransom. They've now said it was a simultaneous transfer. Look, this $400 million was the very first thing that the Iranians asked for when I was sent to sit down with the likes of Ahmadinejad and Rouhani. That's the very first thing that they wanted. And it turns out I'm a better negotiator than John Kerry, because in addition to the 3 hostages we got back, they paid us. We actually ended up with more money. I don't understand why these guys can't tell the truth. But, Stuart, they have not told the truth about anything since they got in office. Think back. The gun-walking so-called Fast and Furious case, they tried to gaff off on the previous administration. They're still lying about the exchange of nuclear technology and ICBM technology between North Korea and Tehran. They're lying about what's happening as a consequence of the catastrophe that's going on in Syria. All of this is a pattern that's persisted in this administration since they got in town 8 years ago.
Ollie, it does seem that our foreign policy is collapsing, especially in the Middle East. And I want to bring this to your attention. I'm sure you know about this. Russian military vehicles and tanks have been massing on the western border with Ukraine. I would suspect that something is brewing here. There's 80 days left in this presidency. Something brewing. What says Ollie North?
Well, look, clearly Vladimir Putin wants to take advantage of the weakness of this administration. He's done so consistently. What price did they pay for annexing Crimea? If you look at what's going on right now between the Iranians and the Russians, between the Russians and Turkey, between Russia and backing up for Assad in Damascus, all of those things are totally contrary to our best interests. And so the Iranians are going to, the Russians are going to continue to do things that they know this administration will be unable, unwilling, and unhappy about, but they can't do a damn thing about it, because the long history of this administration is lackadaisical, euphoric nirvana when it comes to foreign policy. And they'll tell you that we're better off because of the way they act. They're dead wrong.
Ollie, I want to show that picture again. And this may be disturbing to some of our viewers. This is a video and a picture. That's that little boy. That, by the way, that's on the front page of the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Financial Times today. That's a little boy injured, pulled from the rubble of bombing in Aleppo on Wednesday night. Now, that's a shocking picture. And I want to know, I want to tell this straight. Do you put any blame on President Obama and Hillary Clinton for what happened in Aleppo and what happened to that little boy?
Stuart, the policy that we have toward the civil war in Syria, the pullout that was done in December of 2011, all of those activities that are taking place today in Syria, which are brutal, there's probably 500,000 dead in the Syrian civil war. There's 65 million refugees that are flooding all over Europe trying to get into some kind of safe haven as a consequence not just of Syria, but literally of the entire abysmal failure of this administration's foreign policy. And they're doing nothing about it.
Well, I've got 80 days left. Ollie, thanks for joining us. I want to tell everybody that Lieutenant Colonel, I get the rank right, Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North is the host of War Stories. It airs this Sunday, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Ollie, if I can call you that, thanks very much for joining us, as always.
Anytime. Thank you, Stuart.